Hey friends, it's Sierra from sisterfriend.com. So I've actually already recorded this video of chicken feet, pork feet broth, but I just wanted to do a little update on the video and just kind of put it back into the stratosphere because I don't think that people are really understanding how powerful this specific broth is. Hey guys, editing Sierra here. So I wanted to put this video back into the stratosphere, but I feel like one of the key points that I needed to say in this video that I never did get to was that this broth, I have seen a direct correlation with this broth helping to lower my husband's blood pressure. In fact, one day when he drank this broth along with some other things, like we do a lot of different things. You know, I'm always focusing on mineral heavy foods, whether it's squash or mushroom soup or whatever. But on a couple of during a particular week when we were having this chicken feet, pork feet broth, I was putting it into my husband's Yeti and his BP was dropping to as low as 108 over 77. And so one of the things that I'm going to be talking about in this Heal Your Gut, Lower Your Blood Pressure series, which this video was not even intended for that, was the correlation between calcium deficiency and high blood pressure. If you're curious about it before I get to that video, you can go look up Ray Peat's work, Dr. Ray Peat's work, and then Dr. David McCarran. They both have a lot of medical articles talking about calcium deficiency and hypertension. So I always looked for giving my husband calcium through way of raw milk and kefir, but during this particular week, he was not drinking milk. And so obviously when you're making these really good bone broths and the bones are starting to simmer, like melt down and structurally just fall apart, you're getting all of those good calcium minerals and all of the things that the chickens were eating out on pasture, especially if you're getting chickens from a farmer who does pasture raised chickens or a forest raised pig. So I will say that my husband's BP lowered a lot with this particular broth. I need to put together the pieces with the other broths that I do to see how his BP does. But this broth definitely does help with lowering BP. It's got all of the essential amino acids and it's just very mineral rich. So I'm gonna let you guys get back into the video. I wanted to put, like I said, I really needed to let you guys know that because I am gonna go ahead and put this video into the playlist of Heal Your Gut and Lower Your Blood Pressure. And now, without further ado, back to the video. If you're new here, I'm super passionate about gut health, and a huge part of healing your gut lining after years of antihistamines, narcotics, steroids, antibiotics is gelatin. The more gelatin that you can get for your gut lining, the better off you're going to be. So this can be by way of chicken feet, pork feet broth, which is one of my favorites. I actually have another video coming up, which is even more gelatinous, if you can believe it. You really want to focus on moistening your body. Like, not only are we trying to heal the gut lining, but if I have any of my ladies who are menopause or perimenopause, which I was looking at my analytics here on YouTube, and most of y'all are in the 55 to 65 range who are here with me in my little corner of the internet. And so a huge part of keeping your body nice and moistened, especially like I was saying, the menopause ladies, if y'all are feeling dry, if you're not on HRT, which I still need to do another video and update you guys. I am back on HRT, but even if you're feeling dry, it is so important that you moisturize your mucous membranes. We have so many mucous membranes in our body that require moisture. And so one herb that you can do is linden. I've actually been listening to some herbalists doing some lectures on linden. I actually haven't started that one. Aloe, like I said, tremella, which is Chinese snow fungus. This is very moistening to the body. Like I said, okra water, putting okra in water and then sipping it down. Any sort of gelatinous broth. So like I said, I love to do chicken feet, pork feet broth. Another broth that I've actually been doing, you guys, that has been, I did it for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and now I've done it twice, and I love it, is pork skin. I didn't think I was gonna be able to find pork skin, but I actually found some fresh pork skin, and it wasn't intimidating. There was a few like hairs on it, but it was pretty cool. So I did, cause I've been working on yin nourishment. Like a lot of women need a lot of yin. I mean, obviously talk to your doctor, work with your own Chinese medical doctor, but I have been focusing on yin skin, okay? And so with the other broth that I did was I did pig skin, pig feet, and also pig bones. And so I actually asked my farmer, because she wasn't there, they had sent somebody else to give me the bones. I emailed her and I was like, hey, what specific bones are these that you gave to me? And she was like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't remember, but they were pig bones. So I got pig bones, pig feet, pig skin. And can I just tell you guys, oh my God, the amount of collagen and gelatin that comes, like this broth turns into just like straight gel. If y'all are out there buying, you know, gelatin powders, this is like, it's like stiffer than Jello. And so I have found having it for breakfast and adding miso and seaweed and tofu, oh my gosh, it's so filling, it's so rich, it's so delicious. And I started noticing like I was kind of, oh, sorry, I felt like the light was moving. But anyway, I have found that I really do love to have these broths for breakfast. And what I'll do is I'll add in a little bit of miso, add in some seaweed for the iodine, and then a little bit of tofu. I'll also have my eggs and whatever else I'm doing, and I'll just be having a really big breakfast. And I just find that it is so incredibly nourishing, delicious, and I just feel very satiated. But anyway, today we're just going to be talking specifically about the pork feet and the chicken feet broth. I love this broth. Something to keep in mind as you are on a menopause journey, perimenopause journey, or SIBO or leaky gut. For one, as we get older, our bones can get more fragile. So I highly recommend that all of you guys do weight training. You know, I'll do another video on one of the weighted vests that I've been using. I have that actually linked on sisterfriend.com, but just really keeping your bones strong. And that also comes by way of also keeping, you don't want bone on bone. I've had bone on bone, avascular necrosis. And so in addition to HRT, because I do think coming off the HRT really did upset the necrosis in my right arm. I have not been in pain like this since I had my transplant almost 10 years ago, or 10 years ago. Even though I am on HRT, it's also so important to keep those bones lubricated. Like I said, we have all of these mucous membranes throughout our body and our vaginal tissues. You know, there are companies now that sell, there's skincare companies that are selling y'all on hyaluronic acid for your vagina, hyaluronic acid for your face. But when you have these broths, like a chicken feet or a pork feet or pork skin, they actually produce hyaluronic acid. I love saying that word. They also have chondroitin. You know, I'll often see all of these companies selling you guys these really expensive herbs like chondroitin for your joints, because so many people deal with joint pain. So I know a lot of y'all are super deficient in magnesium, calcium, phosphorus, and other little trace minerals. So when you make the chicken feet, pork feet broth, you're getting, for one, the bones and the skin. There are some women out there that I see cutting the nails off of the chicken feet, and I don't know why, because the nails are full of keratin. But if you want to keep your hair strong, your nails strong, you want to have plump skin, collagen rich skin, it's not in a pill and it's not in a powder. I mean, I have definitely used powders. One of the powders that I use is on sisterfriend.com. I honestly don't think I'm going to be buying it anymore because broth is now a way of life for me. I know some of you guys might have histamine intolerance and maybe you are dealing with that. For me, I know for a fact that I had really bad histamine intolerance because when I started eating fermented foods, I had a lot of excessive yawning, I had heart palpitations, I had anxiety. Like histamine intolerance can manifest in many different ways, but I think because I was just so desperate to change, I just was like demanding that my body like take this stuff. So something you can do before having histamine rich foods like a long simmered broth or a homemade yogurt is you can take a DAO enzyme, like seeking histamine digest by Seeking Health. They have a DAO enzyme to strengthen your DAO. But the way to really repair your DAO is through organ meat, is through beef kidney, beef liver, a little bit of heart. That's how you start to strengthen your DAO and get your stomach back in tip-top shape. So anyway, like I was gonna say, I know that some people are like, I can't take broth, but I have noticed that I don't have histamine intolerance anymore with my yogurts or with my fermentations. I am perfectly fine. It's almost like my body was like, okay, she's gonna just keep giving it to us. Something else you can take to help with the histamine intolerance would be quercetin. That is like nature's antihistamine, or like I guess that's what it would be, right? Quercetin. But that's really good like for allergies and stuff like that if your body is constantly having these crazy immune responses. So I would do quercetin. But these long simmered broths are amazing. Can I just say, like, for one, I have been noticing that I have way less bloating. I used to be so super bloated all the time, and I was like, wow, like, I think I'm just fat now. I don't mean fat, but like I think I started getting a little bit of midsection like roughage in here because I got off of HRT. But since getting back on HRT in just 2 weeks, I've noticed that the inflammatory responses are going down. I actually just finished listening to a doctor, Dr. Felice Gersh, and I've been binging all of her videos, really just trying to not be such a conspiracy theorist when it comes to hormone replacement therapy. All the inflammation is kind of coming down off my body, which is really nice. And I think that's from HRT. But I also believe, even though I am on HRT, I also still want to continue to maintain healthy joints, healthy teeth, healthy hair, healthy nails. So broth is a really big part of that. There was something else I was just saying that I forgot. You guys, my brain literally just will be like, tell them this and tell them that and tell them this and tell them that. And then I like lose my train of thought all the time. But yeah, these long simmered broths are not really affecting me anymore. I have made it a lifestyle. The broth will usually last me about a week and a half. So I do have to make kind of a lot of broth because I make my husband have them too. And so yeah, y'all, like I feel like the bloating is going down, which to me is symbolic that the gut lining is becoming repaired. Also, I used to have a lot of joint pain, not joint pain, but I would just have like pain in my right hand all the time. And I don't have that anymore with the long simmered broths. So play with it. Play with the broths because there is something to the gelatinous broths, and just don't fall prey to American standards when it comes to selling you all of these over-the-counter powders and all of these skincare. It blows my mind when I see women on TikTok and here on YouTube, and they have this whole like face routine and they're spraying all these chemicals and all this stuff on their face. It blows my mind because I'm like, you don't need to do all that. Like if you just healed your gut and healed your hormones and did all that, like you wouldn't need all that skin stuff. I mean, the only thing that I use on my skin is my own homemade tallow, which I'm going to make and put the recipe here on the channel. So I'm not using any other skincare products. I'm just using my tallow, and like I'll use Castile soap from time to time, and I am wearing some makeup today, but my skin looks pretty good. I have videos here on YouTube. You guys can see my skin without makeup. So today I'm going to show you guys how I do my pork feet and my chicken feet broth again. I'm also going to be bringing the other recipe that I was telling you about, the pig skin, pig feet, pig bones. These different bones with the tendons and the cartilage, they do different things. So I actually ran into this one YouTube video, and I will put it in the description box below, but there was a man just talking about, he has like this whole historical analysis on like people thinking that pigs are dirty or doing any sort of swine is like just unclean. Like he debunks some of the myths and things behind that because they do provide different things. Like the pig provides something different than the cows. The cows provide something different from the goats. The goats do something different from the lamb. Like they all do different things, but holistically they really are just such nourishing parts. And I just think it's so sad that in America we throw away these precious parts that can aid to our health and wellness. Just put us back together again. Like God really did give us everything. Like when you start to learn herbalism and learn how to use all of these nourishing things that we have, the animals, the grass-fed animals, we really do have the ability to heal. Without further ado, let me go ahead and show you guys how I do my chicken feet, pork feet broth. You can also play with it by putting it in the Instant Pot. I like to, like, if I'm having a lazy girl day and I'm like, oh, I just need to get this started, I'll do a first simmer in the Instant Pot and then put it on the stove. But if I'm like feeling super old school, I'll just start it off on the stove and leave it on the stove for like a day or two, and just, you know, simmer it down until it gets very like gelatinous and just what is the word I'm looking for? Like rich. Like you want to, it doesn't need to look watery. It should look like a very rich broth. Let me show you the recipe. So to start with, I've got these chicken feet, and like I said, do not cut off the nails. Here are the pork feet, and I just go in. I'm adding salt, but you guys may have heard in my last video, I don't clean the feet with salt anymore. I now use scallion, ginger, and wine, and I just do a first boil to get off all those impurities. In this video, I did a little bit of apple cider vinegar and salt, but my acupuncturist was telling me not to do that. She was saying to use ginger, scallion, and wine, so that's how I do it now. So anyway, once I'm done with this first boil, this lasts about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes. I'm just gonna go ahead and pour off all the nasty water, and then I go through and clean off each individual foot with water. So this will take me about 20 minutes because I just want to make sure there's no gunk on my feet, because we want a nice, beautiful, clear broth. So then I add some filtered water and add in some mineral salt and then a splash of apple cider vinegar to help break down the feet. Then I push slow cook and I have them on 24 hours, and I actually didn't let them go the full 24 hours. They went for about, I don't know, 17 hours. My machine went off, and so I didn't have the exact time, but they went for about 16, 17 hours. And so as you can see, they have that golden color. And this is my 8-quart Instant Pot. You see how golden all that oil is? So you can see the broth is still kind of watery. So what I like to do is, after they have been in the Instant Pot for a really long time, I like to go in and put them on the stove and then just let it get really concentrated. So I'll put my stove on low heat. So lastly, I'll pull out the chicken feet and pork feet, put them on some parchment paper on top of a cookie sheet, and then I'll just put these in the oven on low on like 180 degrees and let them dehydrate. If you have a dehydrator, put them in your dehydrator and you'll have some really yummy, crispy feet that you can munch on. And you can also go ahead and take the bones and blend them up in your blender and add this back into your garden. So this is a no waste recipe. So as you can see, here's our broth. It is very concentrated. And if you refrain from stirring your broth while it's cooking, it will have this beautiful golden color. Now, if you start stirring the feet in the broth, it will look more milky. And then I think I have another video where you guys can see it turned more milky. Look at that. And we can scoop the fat off the top there. You can save it for cooking if you want. But here the broth is the next day before I froze it. It is very gelatinous, and this is so wonderful for your hair, your skin, your nails. It's got so much collagen and keratin, and it's also going to help seal your gut lining if you've got leaky gut or if you're battling with SIBO. I cannot recommend this broth enough. So what I did was just reheat it so that I can put it into my super cubes. You guys know I love these cubes so much because they are 1 cup. You can go ahead and pull out 1 cup of soup every day. And these are also a great investment too as we gear up for the holidays. I highly recommend that you use your own homemade broth and stay away from the store-bought broth. The holidays are coming up, so start making your broths and getting them ready for all your recipes. Enjoy!